Nature itself is the ablest of all quality craftsmen. There's quality and perfection in the brightness of a spring day, in the sturdiness and beauty of a tree. Nature's blueprints for these things are mysterious and are as undefinable as a shadow creeping across a hillside. You wouldn't expect a youngster like Billy to understand things like that. You wouldn't expect him to appreciate quality in nature's achievements. Rain to Billy is just nature's way of interfering with his plans. It keeps him indoors and away from his playmates. Rain helps to produce quality in nature's workshop, but a youngster like Billy doesn't care about that. No, quality doesn't mean much to youngsters. When they have a penny to spend at the corner candy store, they're looking for just one thing, the most for their money. Quantity is what they want. They're not worrying about quality. What they want is quantity. They'd like it all, but they've got to make up their minds. Say, do you remember when you were a kid? The 5 for a penny looked a lot better to you, too, than the 1 for a penny. No, quality doesn't mean much to youngsters. To them, it's quantity that counts. But quality does mean something to older people, and it means different things to different people. Women can recognize quality in the beauty of a hat. They find quality in style and the way a hat is made. To a man, there is quality in the fit of a suit, in the weave of the cloth. A quality that is the product of skilled craftsmen with years of experience. Yes, there is a relation between quality work and the workmen who produce it. Take, for instance, a good secretary. Her personality is reflected in the quality of her work. The neat, evenly spaced letters she turns out are evident signs of one who is interested in her work and knows how to do it. One who is eager to do a job of which she and others can be proud. A job with quality. Quality work reflects, like a mirror, the one who produces it. And this is true also in shop work, even though the blueprints drawn by experienced engineers specify in detail the quality wanted. In such blueprints, the quality needed is rigidly defined by dimensions, by weights, by tolerances. True, every supervisor must be concerned with getting out production, but the only production that counts is that which meets specifications. Getting out production means getting quality as well as quantity. Here is a supervisor who found work that didn't meet quality standards. What's wrong here? That new operator should have been able to turn out better work than this. What happened? Well, let's go back and see. The new worker for the number 4 grinder had reported for work to Bert Bodler only that morning. Bert was busy with his production schedules when the new worker arrived. But he stopped his work for a few minutes. He had to show the new man where he was going to work and what machine he was going to work on. And so Bert hurriedly pointed out what he was supposed to do and showed him some of the important steps in the operation. He started the grinder and told the new worker to go ahead. He figured that was all there was to it. He had to get back to his reports and production schedules, for after all, a supervisor does have a lot of desk work to do. Then sometime later, Bert stopped back to see how his new man was getting along. That's when he discovered there was trouble. When Bert inspected the work, he found it didn't meet specifications, as called for in the blueprints. You know what was wrong, Bert? Was it the worker's fault or was it yours? Let's see what you might have done. When that new man reported for work this morning, did you realize that you had a responsibility to him and to the company? Did you recognize what it would take if quality standards were to be maintained? Yes, you were right when you went with the new worker to show him the machine and where he was going to work. But then you should have explained everything to him step by step. You should have shown him just how to remove the bushing from the chuck and emphasized the care that must be taken. You should have told him as you went along the reason for each thing that you were doing. You should have cautioned him about the care to be taken when he reinserted the bushing into the chuck and shown him how you measured the proper depth. Then you should have demonstrated how to engage the grinding wheel with the work. If you had instructed the new worker that way, Bert, it would have been a different story. He would have known what was wanted and just how to do it. You could have been confident when you left him, knowing that the work he turned out would be quality work that would meet specifications. Proper instruction is a must if quality standards are to be maintained. But there are other factors, too. A supervisor who permits a worker to use the wrong tools and still expects to get quality work is like an artist who tries to finish up his painting using a brush like this. He couldn't possibly expect to turn out a fine masterpiece or quality work with tools like this, any more than a well-dressed girl who eats peas with her knife could expect to be invited out a second time. And you can't expect to get quality performance if the wrong man's on the job. It's pretty obvious here that this job should be done by smaller hands that can hold and work conveniently with such small parts and tools. A man with hands like these should be working at some other job. Maybe he should be working at a job like this. Matching the right man with the right job is a factor in maintaining quality standards. And another thing, it takes men who are proud of their jobs to turn out quality work. Job pride is what it's called, and every supervisor has a responsibility to do all he can to help his workers feel proud of the job they're doing. A supervisor ought to know the abilities of every one of his men, and he should see to it that every man is held responsible for the best work he is capable of doing. There are many fine craftsmen, but behind these men are supervisors who have helped them realize the meaning of job pride. To be proud of his job, a man has to know that the work he is doing is important. He should know just why it is essential that every part he makes comes up to the standards and comes within the tolerances specified. If a worker knows what happens to the parts he is making, just how they will be used, he will take greater pride in his job. As he finishes his work to specifications, he will know just how that part is assembled with other pieces, all meeting rigid quality standards, and how these parts are all brought together in the finished product. A fellow can take pride in his part in building machines like these. These are the products of men who know their jobs and who are proud of their jobs. Like nature itself, quality is the result of some things specific and some things intangible. Proper instruction is one of the important factors involved in maintaining quality standards. A worker must understand how to do the job. The supervisor should make sure that the right kind of tools are provided and that they are used. And you can't expect to get quality performance unless you have matched the right man with the right job. The blueprints specify the standards, but it's the supervisor and his men who must meet specifications. It takes men who are proud of their jobs to turn out quality work, and a supervisor has a responsibility to do all he can to help his workers feel proud of the job they are doing. Quality work reflects like a mirror those who have produced it, and quality work reflects the supervisors who have maintained quality standards.